For today's video, guys, I'm just going to be showing you some simple tricks to help improve your thumbnails. Now, these are literally super simple, yet very effective. So once you guys learn these, you will probably use them every time you make a thumbnail, hopefully. These are also just some things I picked up while learning Photoshop myself. So starting out, we're going to go up here to the top left, new file. We're going to do the default YouTube size. That's 1280 by 720 pixels at 300 ppi. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring in one of our images here. I'm going to go ahead and use a picture from one of my trips this year. As you can see, my picture was taken off of a phone and it does not fit in the canvas, but you know, that's fine. We're just going to go ahead and stretch it out. It might bring the resolution down a little bit, but that's okay. We will fix that later. So we're just going to kind of line it up. But now that we have our image in Photoshop, now it's time to start with some effects. So effect number one, text effects. So a lot of people use text in their thumbnails. Over here on your toolbar, hit the T, or you could just hit the T button on your keyboard. It brings up text. It just adds a random text, you know, anywhere you click, and then you can type whatever you want. So for this video, we're just gonna do tutorial because this is a Photoshop tutorial. Now, if you keep it just like this, it just brings your text in, and you know, it's just kind of on your screen. It's very easy. You know, some people like this just as is. It's very clean, very easy, very simple. Some people would want the text maybe behind, say, you know, the person in the image or the object, right? So to get the text behind the object in the image, you're going to want to cut the object out of the image. Now that sounds complicated, but it's very easy. So you're going to go over here to the right on layers, and you're going to select your image. You're going to go ahead and right click, go up here to duplicate layer, just to make an extra copy, because whatever you do to the image will stay that way. So we're just going to go ahead and make two so we have backup. Now going up to the toolbar on the left, you're going to pick the object selection tool. Now if you can't find that, just go ahead and click W. It does the same thing. It just activates it for a quick key. So what this does, obviously you are going to select objects in the image. So with the new image, you're going to highlight anything that you want to cut out of the image. So for instance, me right here, I just play with it until I have my entire body selected, and you go ahead and click. It should select your body. You'll see like checkered outlines around them. So we're going to do from here, make sure your layer is selected still. And then you're going to hold down Control and you're going to hit the letter J. Now what this does is basically completely makes a copy and cuts out your body from the image. So this is what you're left with, right? Now what we can do from here is select the text in the layers and go down and bring it below the copy of the image. Now what this should do, pick your move tool. You can take the text and now drag it in front of the object. And now it's in the background. Like I said, super simple, super easy. This is very effective for thumbnails, and it just makes everything look a lot cleaner and more professional. All right, now in the blank space of your text over here, go ahead and double click that. It should bring up a little window that looks just like this, layer style. Now what this does basically is a customization for the text. So you can add outer glow of the text. You can add a shadow. You can do bevel and emboss, which makes it look shiny, which is really cool. We're not going to do that for today's thumbnail. Outer glow, we're probably just going to use like a white, you know, just keep it a little clean, simple looking. And now for the shadow, you can go in here and customize distance, spread, size, literally everything you'd want to do with shadows. It's so nice. Like adding just a simple shadow to your text makes it look so much more professional, I think. You can also do the same thing with your cutout from earlier. So if you go ahead and double click in the blank space there, brings up the same box. You can kind of do whatever you want. I think I'm going to add an outer glow. Probably keep it white, just keep it a little clean. Some more things you guys can do with the text box as well. If you go over here to your text layer, right click that, you can go over to warp text, and that'll bring up this little box right here. And now you can add style. So you could do like an arc, you could do an arc lower, arc upper, just a regular arch. You could literally do like a bulge. My favorite, I just like to do like a basic arch like this. Now you can also customize it as well with the bend. You can go like this and you can bend it both ways. You know, you can keep it up. This right here, so now it's like bent in front of me. You can also do different like links on the sides. It's really cool. Another thing you guys can do as well, select the text again and go up to the top left to edit, go all the way down to perspective warp. Now what we can do is hold click, make a little box around the text just like that. After you make your grid, you could go over here to warp, and now you could do like a distance text, or like a text that's like fading off of the distance, you know, like perspective, right? Click any of the pinpoints, you can move it around, make it look like it's tilted backwards, tilted forward. You can make it look like it's coming from the left. I just really like the perspective. I think it looks so cool. It's kind of like an Indiana Jones title, you know what I mean? Like, it just looks so sick, like a movie title. Now guys, if you really wanted to, you could keep your image just like this, man. Use it for your thumbnail, use it for your video, whatever you want to do, but there's still so much more we can add. So moving on to the next category, we're going to go into blurring effects. So now we can take our image and we're going to select the background. So from the beginning right here, literally just your background. Go ahead and select that layer. Go up here to filter. And then you're going to go literally down to blur. Now, this drop-down box has so many different options of blur, but my personal favorite is radial blur. I just think it looks the best. Now, when you click that, it'll bring up this box right here. Blur method, put it on zoom, quality, always on best. And the amount, I think the sweet spot is 9. So I always have mine on 9. Now, you can do more blur, less blur, literally whatever you'd want to do. We're going to see how that looks. And just like that, it adds a simple, clean blur to the background of your image. I think this is good for like action shot thumbnails or like gaming thumbnails because it makes your character look like they're moving really fast. I like it a lot. And you could even do the same thing on the text as well. So you can select the text, you can go up here to filter and blur. You can literally blur anything. Motion blur, just like this. Select an angle or amount that you want. And just like that, it will distort and blur the text as well. Now moving on to the next effect category, we are going to go with color correction. So this image is obviously a little dull, you know, pretty gray, pretty white. Nothing really crazy going on. What we can do here is at the bottom right of the layers, there's a little like half circle looking icon. You can click that and it brings up a list of things you can add in here. So what we're going to kind of do is make the color a little better. So what we're going to do is at the very top, we have color and vibrance. Now, literally, like I said, this is very simple, very easy. Go ahead and just click that. It adds this little layer up here. Now, it being at the very top, it is going to go ahead and control everything on the image because it's at the very top. Now, if you don't want it to affect everything, you can go ahead and drag it, you know, in between whatever layers you don't want it to touch. Now, if you can't do that and you want it to be on a specific layer, it's super easy as well. Say I wanted it just to, you know, change my cutout image right here. All I have to do is take the layer right above that, and then to the layer, you're going to hold Alt, and then you're going to slowly drag your mouse down till you see a little down arrow, just like that. Go ahead and click, and then that locks that layer onto that image. So now if we were to go in here and do all of this, it only changes the cutout. And that is also vice versa as well. I can go ahead and take this layer if I wanted just to be the background image. Go ahead and hold Alt, wait for the drop arrow, left click, and then now that is locked to only the background. So everything stays the same besides the background. For this image, we're going to go ahead and change the color. I want to keep the text the same, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and add 2 color and vibrance layers to my image here. I'm going to add one and connect it to my cutout, and then I'm going to add another one and drag that below and add that to the image down below, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and increase probably the vibrance, make it pop a little bit more. And the saturation you can do as well. It makes it, you know, a little more colorful, but if you go too much, it just kind of looks crazy. Probably about there. That right there already, so much more color. And if I wanted to change the tint, because it's a lot of blue, you know, I can warm it up a little bit, make it more like a deserty look if I wanted to. Or I could bring it back down, make it look a lot cooler, colder. But I might keep it a little bit on that side right there. That already looks so clean. And again, people do like that. They would keep it like this and, you know, just be done. But there's a lot more you could do with color as well. You could also go to the same little half circle icon at the bottom, and you can add a hue and saturation layer. With the hue and saturation layer, you can go ahead and put it to whatever part of the image you would like, and then go up here to colorize, check that box. Now, you can change the color of the image to literally whatever color you'd want, if, you know, you'd want to do that. What you could also do, like I said, is just take it to the bottom of the image, so you can have your text and your cutout stay the same color, and you could just have the background be a different color, like, say you want it to be red, just like that. You know what I mean? You can do that, but I think we're going to keep it the same. We're not going to use any hue and saturation. We don't need it, but it is there if you do want it in the future. And going back to the little half circle icon again, main thing we're going to focus on here is the brightness and contrast. You're going to have images that are a little too dark or too bright. This right here is the perfect tool. Obviously, in the name, brightness and contrast, you can adjust that. We're going to brighten it up maybe a tad, just like that. Nothing too crazy, like I said. And this will bring us to our next category, which is spot healing / removing. So if you guys see this little rock right here, zooming in a little bit, it is a lot brighter than everything else in the image. So I don't really like that. So I'm going to try to remove it just for the sake of the video. So get the rock in frame here, just like that. Now we go over to here, our toolbar. Go over here and right click the healing tool, or J. You could hit J, bring it up too. We can use the remove tool, healing brush tool, patch tool, or spot healing brush. I'm going to use the remove tool, take this away from the image completely. So we're going to select the image. It'll bring the cursor here. You literally just outline what you want to get rid of and you let go. And just like that, it'll mask. You can kind of see it a little bit right there, but it'll mask that. So that rock is now completely gone. And you can literally do this with anything. Like if you have your face in a thumbnail and you want to get rid of like acne, you know, dark spots, patches, whatever you want to do, you can do that, get rid of that. If you have images with people with like a water bottle or something that they don't want in the picture, that tool right there takes away things instantly. Super easy, super simple, and it'll make your pictures look a lot better, a lot more professional, a lot cleaner. And then now that we're done, we're gonna go back here and we're gonna add our blur back, just like that. Now the rock was never there. We don't know about it. Now guys, we're basically pretty much done with everything for the video. Now, one last thing you could do if you want, if you notice a lot of like cool pictures or like pictures with the cameras, there's always like a lens flare or like something cool cinematic that you can add. You could also do that in Photoshop. You have all your layers over here, they're kind of like jumbled up, and you want to add the lens flare at the very end because you want it to be over everything. So what you can do is right click one of the layers, and then there should be an option that says flatten image. Now before you do this, this will literally combine every single layer into one flat image, like it says, so you will not be able to edit anything else after this. Now, if you click it once on accident, everything is combined, but you could hit Control-Z real quick and bring it right back. So just remember that. Don't do too much before you can't do that anymore. So when you're completely done editing, right-click the layers, flatten image. That flattens the entire image. Now from here, we can make a copy of this. Right-click, duplicate layer. That way we have two in case we mess up, you know, the first one. You're going to select the copy layer. You're going to go up here to filter. You're going to go down past blur from earlier. You're going to go down to render. And then you're going to go over to lens flare at the bottom. Now we can add a lens flare. There's 4 different types. So we have a basic one. You have a lens flare with a 50 to 300 millimeter zoom. You have a 35 millimeter prime, which is just kind of like a wider look. It's probably what we use today. You also have 105 millimeter prime, which is like it's a little more cinematic, I guess, like a lot wider. And you have a movie prime, which is like some white and blue, like line streaks across. I want more of like a warmer look. Yeah, just like that. We'll put it back at the base of the L. Still a little too bright. We're gonna move it again. And then guys, literally just play around with it so you get it exactly where you want it. And there we go. I did change it a little bit, made it a little warmer, but I think that is pretty clean. That's a pretty professional thumbnail just right there. And my image wasn't even the highest quality. After we entered it in, I had to zoom it up and it was very pixelated. So even here, you know, it's not terrible. These effects here are literally the basics to Photoshop. A lot of people just don't know what all Photoshop has, to be honest. There's so many options and buttons and like settings and effects in here. You know, it's very easy to get lost. But if you guys learned something new in today's video, a like would be greatly appreciated, and subscribe if you're new. We're so close to 1K subs. And hopefully this helped a lot of people out with their thumbnails, you know, making them a little cleaner, a little bit better. If you guys can think of anything else you would like to see in Photoshop or learn how to do as well, let me know down in the comments below, and I'd be more than happy to make a video or, you know, at least learn about it and then come back and tell you guys. So everyone trying this out, good luck. Hopefully you make great thumbnails. I'm very excited to see. And again, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I will see you in the next one.